Hello, my fellow warriors, and welcome to a vlog. As I've said in the past, my vlogs are going to be anything from just random discussions about whatever to faith-based messages. And, you know, the main purpose of this whole channel, which I've said in multiple vlogs, I'm sorry, I have something in my eye that's bothering me. The purpose of this channel is to provide clean content, family-friendly content for people who don't, for parents who don't want their children to watch, mainstream YouTubers, don't want their children to hear, dirty language or dirty humor, anything like that. And again, I want to stress this again, I'm not saying I'm better than any of those YouTubers, because I'm not. I'm just putting an alternative out there. I'm an alternative to those YouTubers. So don't go into the comments and start ripping into me because you think that I believe that I'm better than them, because I don't. I'm just saying I'm different, and I'm providing an alternative, to them. So, and it's also for, grown-ups that want, clean content and everything, who aren't particularly fond of the, dirty humor and foul language and everything. In fact, I have one subscriber who commented on a video, said that the reason he subscribed is because he's not fond of those mainstream YouTubers. They don't, not that he wasn't fond of them, but that they don't appeal to him because, partially because they, aren't clean, and so that was nice to hear that, because that basically says that I'm doing my job, the job that God put me, on, or had me start up YouTube again for, and anyway, on to the point of this video. I just wanted to restate everything again so that, you would know what this, the whole point of me doing videos like this. So now on to the actual point of the video, and that is, this is one of the faith-based videos, so if this isn't something that you're interested in, then feel free to click away now, before I deliver the message. But I encourage you and beg you to please continue watching, because who knows, even if you're not a believer, even if you're, even if, something's happened that's pulled you away from God, maybe this message will touch you, it'll touch your heart, open your eyes, I don't know. And I hope it does. I really do. That's my whole point of existing in this entire world, is to serve God and, touch the lives of others. So, yeah, even if you're not you didn't come to the channel to watch faith-based videos, again, please just give it a chance, because, I'm going to try to keep it as short and sweet as I possibly can, but it's not really up to me, it's up to Him. So if the Lord wants me to go on for an hour, I'm going to go on for an hour. But, He does have a specific message He wants me to deliver in this video. And that is about trials. And this doesn't just pertain to believers, it's also unbelievers as well. A trial, for those of you that don't really know what the, spiritual idea of a trial is, it's basically a test. It's, rough times that you go through, loss of a loved one, problems at work, financial issues, relationship issues. The list goes on. Pretty much anything bad that stresses you out to the breaking point, and you're angry or depressed or whatever, anything that creates negative emotions in you that is against what God's word says, that is a trial. And what God's word says is that we're supposed to think on holy things. We're supposed to think on positive things. We're supposed to, think on God's promises, His grace, His mercy, His love, and the forgiveness that He's shown us, and the fact. Anyway, what you doing? Sorry. Having him in here, I have to make sure that he's not getting into things, because he has a habit of doing that. Come here, boy. Behave yourself. Sorry for the interruption. But most of all, we're supposed to focus on the gift that He's given us. He's given us the greatest gift that anyone has ever given us, and that is He sacrificed His only Son for us. He did it for you. Yeah, you right there, you watching. It doesn't matter if a million people watch this video. I'm speaking to each and every one of you individually. He did it specifically for you. He had you in mind. He had me in mind. He had my neighbors in mind. He had my coworkers in mind. He had your family in mind when Jesus went to the cross. He sacrificed His Son so that we could be forgiven for the sins that we've committed. And that is one of the things, the good things, the holy things we're supposed to focus on. And so all these negative things that come our way are the result of trials. Like right now, and one thing I've been trying to do so much on this channel since I started back up again is to be completely open and honest with you all. I'm an open book to you all. I'm not saying that I'm going to tell you every little detail of my life, but anything that could possibly help you all, or help you to relate to me, to consider me a friend, I'm going to share with you all. And right now, the something that pertains to this video specifically is a trial that I am going through, and it's a trial that I have gone through many times over the last 4 to 5 years. And I give it that specific of a time period because what's happened is a coworker that I have, she and I got very close. We started flirting around years ago, and we got close, extremely close. And it looked like we were gonna get into a relationship. And then when I admitted to her that I cared about her, she freaked out and backed off. Now, at the time, I was upset about it. I was very upset about it. But that was because I didn't consider her position on things. Now see, the thing with her is that she was married before, and her ex-husband treated her horribly. And because he treated her so badly, she put up this wall that nobody could get through. And that's why when she opened up to me and we got close, people were completely shocked. Because they were like, I've never seen her act like this before. She trusted me. That's because at the time I was following God more closely than I was, compared to, a year or two later. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But she chose to, or she freaked out because immediately the thought of what her ex-husband did to her popped back into her head. And she was afraid that if she let me in, anymore. If we got close and we started dating and things got serious, that the same thing would happen again. Again, at the time I wasn't thinking about that. And and now to give you my perspective on things at that time, and I don't mean that I don't want this to sound pathetic or like, I'm making excuses, because I'm not. There was no excuse for the way I handled things, just as there was no excuse really for the way she handled things either, because both of us were in the wrong. There was no one bad guy in this situation. She wasn't the bad guy, even though I treated her like it at the time, and I wasn't the bad guy, even though she acted like I was at the time. And she still acts like I am, but, that's fine. I understand her position now, so it doesn't affect me as much. But, and again, you might think that I'm pathetic after you hear this, but I've never had a girlfriend. Not once. I'm 36 years old, never once had a girlfriend. Never even been on a date. And there's a reason for that. It's because God has a specific person in mind for me. I don't know who she is, but I do know she's out there. And whether you believe in, whether God can speak to you or not, he has, and, he's shown me that there is somebody out there for me, somebody he has in mind, and she's going to be a Christian. And now this woman that, this coworker that I was very close to, she wasn't a Christian, and neither were any of the other women that I was interested in. So that was the problem with, a couple of them that I was interested in but, one of them thought of me as a brother, and the other one was, I procrastinated and missed my opportunity with her. So, but anyways, so yeah, being rejected as many times as I have been at that point, it really has an effect on your self-esteem and your self-confidence. I mean, my self-confidence was shot. Still is. Even when a woman does show that she's interested, I'm so dubious of it, and doubtful, thinking that I'm just imagining the fact that they're interested, that I think I'm imagining it, and then I wait too long and I miss my opportunity. It's happened a couple of times since this. But anyway, I'm trying to hurry and get to the point of this video. But anyway, so yeah, my confidence was already shot by that point. So even though she admitted she was interested in me, but said she didn't want to try anything because we worked together, I got really upset. And I argued with her about it. Well, she, got really distant toward me because of it. And it turned, and it just made things worse, because after she got distant, I got angrier, and, so I continued to argue with her. Well, the more I argued, the more she shut me out, because she was like, oh, here we go. This is exactly what I thought was going to happen. Eventually got to the point where we just quit talking for a while. And since then, this is fast forwarding, since then, we got into where we started talking again, joking around, getting along and everything, and she still flirts on and off once in a while. But where the trial comes in for me, like I said, this is about 4 or 5 years ago all this happened. Those feelings for her never went away. They're still as strong today as they were 4 or 5 years ago. And hanging on to feelings that strong for someone who is doing her best to protect herself and is pushing you away, that leads to some very hard feelings. I mean, it's just been constant up and downs of stress, anger, and depression. And I mean, not depression like, like severe depression or anything like that. It's just, constant feelings of, feelings of being down every once in a while. Some days worse than others, and then some days I'm perfectly fine. But that continued on for that has been an issue on and off for the last 4 or 5 years. And the thing is it's a spiritual thing. Everything that you deal with, every trial you deal with is a spiritual battle. Because anything negative is not from God. Anything negative is from the enemy, the devil, Satan. He's the one who tries to get you to feel these negative things to draw you away from God. And that's what he was doing with me. Every single time God put me in this position, this trial, I failed the test. Because if you make it through a trial, if you focus on God throughout a trial and you trust him and you refuse to let the what's going on affect you in a negative way, you come out stronger. You pass the test and you come out spiritually stronger and closer to God than what you were before. Now, the thing is I've been literally through this exact same trial multiple times over these last few years. Every time I failed. Because every time I would let my emotions get the better of me. I wouldn't focus on God. I wouldn't turn to God. I mean, I'd pray about it, but I wouldn't turn to God. I wouldn't trust him to get me through it. And I wouldn't listen to him when he'd tell me she's not the one for you. And that there's something better, coming later. So, I failed the test multiple times. And I never grew spiritually because of it. I never became stronger so that I could, survive every day that I worked with her. But now I'm going through this same trial again, but there's a difference this time. I have grown so much in my relationship with the Lord in the last year and a half that I have gotten to where I'm trusting him. I am looking to him. Now, am I going to say that this trial hasn't had its down points? Yeah, it has. And last week was one of the lowest points in this trial, but instead of letting the emotions overcome me so much that I started doing sinful things like, coming home and getting angry and, having, cursing and whatever. Instead of doing that, I'd come home, I would pray, and then I'd read the Bible and spend time with God. And once I did, all that anger and pain would just drain away and just peace would replace it. The whole point of this video and this message is if you're going through a trial in your life, it's not the end of the world. No matter what it is. Whether you've lost a loved one or you're having a relationship issue or work problems, financial problems, whatever it may be, it's not the end of the world. What you have to do is you have to turn to God. You have to turn to Jesus. Ask him to bring you peace. Ask him to let the anger and the sorrow just drain away. And trust him, because if you read God's Word, if you read the Bible and you study it and you don't just know it in your head, but you know it in your heart. You live it. You apply it to your life. You will know what his promises are. You will know what he's done for you. And it's such an overwhelming experience to have those negative feelings and then to, turn to the Lord, and then it just all drains away, and then you're at peace. And that's the thing is he has something so much better for you around the corner than what you're going through right now. He does. You know, even if, you know, like you broke up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and you're hurting because of it and you're wanting to just hold on to that person, that may not be the person he wants you to be with. And you holding on to that person could be keeping you from someone that is so much better in every way possible. Like, I know that the woman that he wants for me to be with is someone who loves him more than anything. And who just wants to live for him. And who would be completely loyal and completely loving. And that's what I want. I want someone who is exactly like that. Someone who loves Jesus and follows Jesus. And that's something that this person that I have been hooked on for years is not. She's not that person at all. As a matter of fact, she's the opposite of that person. And this is something that I just realized just a few days ago. And I'm ashamed to say that because I should have known that already. Thing is, I do it. He's been trying to tell me for the longest time. I wasn't listening though. But now I am. And now I'm overjoyed in a way that I've not been for the longest time. Because I know that he has someone that is so perfect for me that I'm going to be incredibly happy with out there somewhere. And he has something better for you. But you have to turn to him. You have to trust him. You have to put him first. You have to make him your focus. Because you'll never get through a trial unless you put God first in your life. If you have him first in your life, you can get through this trial and you can pass the test. Don't make the same mistake I did. I think that's the reason why I failed the trial so many times, is so that I could deliver this message to you. So that you could learn from my mistakes and not make the same mistake yourself. Don't rely on your own strength. Don't focus on the situation, the trial that you are going through. Instead, focus on God. Make him the priority. Don't think about what's going on negative in your life. Focus on him and his promises. And have faith that he's going to get you through it. Thank you for joining me in this vlog. I am the Holy Warrior. God bless you all.